Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today
Senioritis being afraid of seniors, or I don't.
Senioritis is when students lose motivation because they see the end is near. Usually happens somewhere between January and April is when it usually starts setting in, where students saying, "Why am I working so hard? I'm done," and then they start not seeing their way all the way to the finish.
I think what happens more, it's not just transition, it's once you've already made a concrete plan for the future. So for the students particularly who've already applied and been accepted to colleges, or they're going into the military, or they have a job lined up right after, so the uncertainty is kind of gone for what the future brings. So you're going, oh, okay, I know what I'm going to be doing. And you're ready to move on from this experience.
When a senior doesn't, they're kind of slacking off, they don't really want to finish school, kind of just ready to get out.
When I hear the word senioritis, I think of seniors just slacking off, not getting the work done, because seniors who just give up.
There's not a lot of internal motivation to do work, so once you sort of get that external goal, there's not a lot of drive to do it for internal reasons.
If I were to kind of make up my own definition of what I imagine it to be rather than to look it up, I would say that it's a developmental period that students go through that has all sorts of different waves to it.
now we're never shown how we shine. We gotta push it to the limit. 'Cause we're in it to win it, in it to win it. Oh yeah, push it to the limit. Give it all we can give it. We're in it to win it. Oh yeah.
In some ways, I think it's a healthy process to be ready to move on. The downside is the completion of high school successfully is important to students. All of you guys, your acceptance to college is really conditional upon successfully completing your high school career, which usually translates into however you've done in the past. The college expects you to do a comparable level of work for the rest of the senior year. A couple times, not very often, but a few times where students had their admissions pulled back.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem for myself at least. It's not become a big part of the school, but I know it's real.
Usually the fear of the consequences is enough to keep people honest enough to at least take care of business. And when I say you were expected to do the same level of work, colleges, everybody's aware of senioritis.
I'm not worried. I was accepted to college on early decision agreement, and I'm friends with my admission counselor, and I'm keeping my grades up where they need to be. And, they're not getting dangerously low or anything.
You're finishing all of your sort of elementary, middle school, high school years, and you complete that. You kind of want to rest and relax and feel a sense of ease, and yet I think there's also that post-stress of that experience that causes the itis part of it, like a disease that, it's dis-ease. It's a feeling of, my motivation is lost.
I don't think it's dependent upon the fact that it's my last year. I think just being 60, 61, almost 62, brings with it a lot of calm, or it can anyway. In my case, it has. And so I still enjoy what I do. I still work real hard.
Your developmental period where you are moved to make a big change in your life. And the only way that movement happens is to get stuck, because you have to push yourself through that stuck period. So it would be true for someone who's retiring. It would be true for someone who, gives up on something all of a sudden, or someone who ultimately decides to end a marriage because they, they've been stuck for a long period of time. And that stuckness, the only way you can get through it is to push. So it's so much nicer to call something a developmental period of change than call it itis or a disease.
Yeah.
So, there's still a tremendous amount of effort and preparation. It's just that I've got, as I was mentioning before, I've got a lot of tools. If something doesn't work, I have something else to pull out.
So when you go through a midlife crisis, right, I used to joke with all these people and say, my husband went through a midlife crisis. He moved to Vermont. And then as I talk to a lot of different people, colleagues and professionals and people in my life that I interact with daily, they said, no, it's a developmental period. It's a period where you are moved to make a big change in your life. Yeah, so that's the same thing.
Last Sunday, I had a lot of studying to do. I slept the whole day. I woke up at 11:30. My mom made me breakfast. It was awesome. And then I took a nap, and the nap was lasted till about 1 o'clock. And then I woke up, watched some Netflix, went to the bathroom, didn't even take a shower, just went to the bathroom, came back out, and watched more Netflix. I had some lunch at 3.
My senior year is going well. It's fun. It's a lot of, I'm excited for years to come.
Okay, but about November, December time, right when winter sports started, I just started to lose motivation and energy in terms of doing my homework.
And I opened my physics book up to study, and then you know how Netflix has it gives you 15 seconds before it goes on to the next episode. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pause it, and I didn't. And so as soon as the show started, I closed my book and then went back to watching Netflix, and I stayed up till 11:30.
I don't know, just pretty much every test and quiz I just don't feel prepared for. It's always a shot in the dark. Mostly, for the most part, gone pretty well, but I mean, I have gotten, a 63, 65 on a couple quizzes so far this year.
High school's been a lot of fun, had a lot of good times here, but I'm ready to definitely move on to college and experience a different scene, a different world. Yeah.